Hi, welcome to Salkanti Academy. This is Salkanti Saidalu. In this video, we are going to learn 10th class biology first lesson. For this lesson, I did 3 videos. By seeing this video, you easily get 10 marks from annual examination. You will get 40 marks question paper in the annual examination. In that 40 marks, you surely get 8 to 10 marks in this first lesson nutrition. So viewers and students, see this video without skipping. By seeing this video, you easily understand the concepts of first lesson biology. Let us dive into the content. See students, I did this 10th biology nutrition English medium part 1 video. In this video, I explained in detail about photosynthesis and different experiments and balancing equation of photosynthesis chemical equation. In that, in this video, we easily understand the concepts of experiments and what steps will come in the experiments. By seeing this video, you surely get 5 to 6 marks in the annual examination. I also did part 2 video on 10th biology nutrition first chapter lesson. In this video, I explained in detail about how photosynthesis takes place and how the scientists discovered the photosynthesis chemical reactions, how many scientists work on this photosynthesis chemical reaction, and how photosynthesis takes place in how many steps. In this video, I explained in detail about light dependent reactions and light independent reactions and Hill reactions, how light dependent reactions takes place in grana, how the structure of how is structure of chloroplast and chlorophyll are there. In detail, I explained with visualization methods. So students and viewers, see this video without skipping and you surely get 2 to 4 marks from this video. Now we are going to learn in this video the 10th biology nutrition part 3. In this video, we are going to learn in detail about the digestive system of human beings, how organisms do nutrition, how organisms collect nutrients, uh, types of nutrients. Next, what nutrients presents in the food, how many types of nutrients presents are there. We are going to learn in detail. In this video, we have two experiments also. uh, Children, don't waste time. Let us dive into the content. What is nutrition? Think. Yes, you are right. Nutrition is Nutrition is the collection of nutrients. Depending on the food collection, the organisms can be divided into how many types? Think, students. Depending on the food collection, the organisms can be divided into how many types? Nutrition. Autotrophs. If the organisms prepare their food with own, or if the organisms uh, produces nutrients itself, those organisms called as autotrophs. For autotrophs, best example is plants. Plants produces their nutrients itself. Plants producing nutrients food contain carbohydrates, fats, proteins. These are the major nutrients present in the plants producing food. Some organisms, for example animals and microorganisms, other than plants, collects their nutrients from other organisms. Such organisms called as heterotrophs. For heterotrophs, examples decomposers. Decomposers example yeast, mushrooms, breadcrumbs, and parasites. Parasites example cuscuta, lice, leech, tapeworm, and remaining organisms, they collect their nutrients and take as holozoic. Holozoic nutrition example from amoeba to mammals, from unicellular to multicellular organisms take their nutrients by swallowing complete food. This type of nutrition is known as holozoic nutrition. Now we are going to learn in detail about the heterotrophism. Before first part 1 and part 2 videos, I explained about autotrophic animals, how they prepare their food by in the process of photosynthesis, and the mechanism of photosynthesis occur in leaf of plants. I explained in detail in part 2 video. Now in this part 3 we are going to learn in detail about heterotrophs, decomposers, parasites, and holozoic nutrients. Now define decomposers. Think children, what is decomposers? Yes, you are right. Decomposers are the organisms that break down dead or decaying organisms. They carry out decomposition, a process possible by only certain kingdoms such as fungi. Dec- for examples for decomposers are yeast, mushrooms, bread, crumbs. See children, dietary approach in decomposers, how they took their nutrients. Clearly observe this experiment. We took a bread slice and put on a plate and pour some display sprinkle some water on them. After 3 days we observe this black structured uh, surfaces on bread slides. By observing magnifying glasses, you clearly observe them. There are take some black pieces from bread slice, put on slide with forceps, and kept this slide on the stage of microscope, and you observe through with low objective. By observing this slide with microscope, you clearly see this round shaped shack like structures. These are the bread mold. Are you clear about this decomposers dietary nutrition? They decomposes the nutrients outside of the body of organism. After decomposing, they collect the nutrients from the decaying material. What is parasitic life? Think, students. Yes. What you think that is right? Organisms collect food in a parasitic way of life depending on the host organisms without killing it. This is called parasitism. Example for parasites: Cuscuta, lice, leeches. These are the parasitic organisms. They collect their nutrients from other organisms. They live on them. They, they took nutrients from the host of the organisms without killing it. This type of lifestyle is known as parasitic life. Are all plants autotrophs? Think parasitic nutrition in Cuscuta. Some plants are not autotrophs. They're not having chlorophyll. They're not able to prepare food material their own. For their nutrition, they depend on other plants. See parasitic nutrition in Cuscuta. Cuscuta plant germinates. See clearly. After germinating, the Cuscuta stem fluttering to the host plant stem. They produces roots like small roots like structures, astoria, and these astoria penetrates into the host stem. By the helping of this astoria, they collect their nutrients from the host plant. This cuscuta also called as daughters plants. These are the astorian of cuscuta. After penetrating into the stem of host, these are the different types of cuscutas. How did the astorium evolve? Are you clear about the parasitic nutrition of cuscuta, children? Parasitic nutrition in cuscuta. Cuscuta is also known as the golden wire dodder. It belongs to the Convolvulaceae family. Cuscuta reflexa contains a very small amount of chlorophyll. It collects food through astoria. Astorias are like roots that penetrate the host tissue and sometimes kill the host, forming an anchoring root when the daughter seed germinates. Astorians collect water from the host pathway and nutrients from the tissues. The roots of the daughter plant, anchoring roots, decompose when the daughter stem comes in contact with the host stem. What is holozoic nutrition? Think, children. Yes, you are right. holozoic nutrition. Organisms takes in the amount of food and break it down into microscopic substances inside the body. The process is called holozoic nutrition. Example for holozoic nutrition from amoeba to mammals. Amoeba is a unicellular, mammals are the multicellulars. From unicellular to mammals, they follow the holozoic nutrition. How do organisms perform holozoic nutrition? Students, now we are going to see from amoeba to mammals how they follow or perform holozoic nutrition. Now we observe in amoeba how amoeba collects nutrients from its surrounding. See, student, carefully.
The body of an amoeba flows around the organism, forming a food vacuole, which completely encloses and ingests the food. Once the prey is engulfed, certain digestive juices are released into the food vacuole. These, along with other digestive juices, break down the food, forming a solution. Once all the digestible material has been absorbed, the remainder is thrown out of the body.
Now we will see nutrition in starfish.
A starfish will pump water through its body, and this is what helps the starfish eat and even move around. Starfish have tube feet that either end in suction cups, which adhere to hard surfaces, or points, which help them traverse a sandy landscape. They'll live anywhere from intertidal zones to the abyss, and where they live can affect what they eat. In many areas, starfish are some top predators, which may pull apart clamshells to eat the soft creature inside. Yep, according to starfish logic, you're not even safe in your own home. Some starfish push their stomach outside of their body and engulf their prey with it. They then let off digestive fluids that help break down a prey item until it is jello-y enough to be pulled back into their body along with the stomach. Oh yeah, you thought they were cute? More like super scary psycho flesh-eating monsters. Okay.
Now we will see the nutrition in fish. See, nutrition in fish. Students, observe carefully how fish collects the nutrients. Now we will see nutrition in snake.
It was observed for the first time. This is how it is done. First, the snake stalks his prey and prepares to strike. When striking, the snake pulls his head back and propels his body forward, latching onto his prey and quickly wrapping his body around to suffocate it. The snake will then hold his grip until he feels his prey's heart stop beating. When the snake is sure that his prey is dead, he slowly unwraps his body. Next, the snake will determine whether or not it is safe to begin eating. When he senses that there are no predators near, he determines the best place to start. This is usually the head of his prey. The snake will then line his body up with the head of his prey and open his flexible jaws, moving them forward with the help of his curved teeth to pull the food into his mouth. A snake's jaw is different than a human's in that it has flexible muscles connected to its jaw, and the bones are not fused together, allowing for independent movement. This is what helps the snake eat prey that is larger than the size of his head. This process can take a while, depending on the size of his prey. Once the prey is seemingly consumed, the snake will use his strong muscles and sometimes pick his head up, utilizing the help of gravity to move the prey further into its stomach where digestion takes place.
Now we will see nutrition in birds.
Nutrition in pet birds is a major contributor to disease and a shortened lifespan. The requirements of many species of pet birds are unknown. Studies of pet bird species in the wild show these birds eat a wide variety of foods, including fruits, leaves, buds, berries, seeds, nuts, and even insects. And these items vary seasonally. Follow your veterinarian's recommendations on how to convert on current recommendations on how to prevent nutritional related diseases and help your pet live a long and healthy life.
Now we are going to observe nutrition in mammals. We observe holozoic nutrition from amoeba to
The body of
starfish,
an amoeba
fish,
flows around
snake, birds,
nutrition
and tigers.
contributor to disease and short lifespan. The requirements of many species of pet birds are unknown. Studies
How digestion takes place in human digestive system. Students, now we are going to learn in detail how digestion process takes place in digestive system of human beings. The process by which digestion takes place in the human digestive system. Human digestive system consists, for understanding in easy way, we divide this human digestive system in three parts. First one is different types of organs present in human digestive system. Second one, digestive juices present in human digestive system. Third one, which enzymes present in digestive systems. First, different types of organs present in digestive system are mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus. What digestive juices present in digestive system is saliva, gastric juice, bile juice, pancreatic juice, intestinal juice. Which enzymes present in digestive juices? Tyline or amylase enzyme, pepsin, trypsin, lipase, peptidases. Students, you uh, remember these things are very important in digestive system. First, we learn in detail about what organs present in digestive system. Digestive system in humans. Digestive system in humans. See students, observe the digestive system in human body. This inside, from mouth to anus, this is the digestive system in human body. How it present, you clearly observe it. Now you clear about digestive system. This is the mouth, and inside mouth there is buccal cavity. In that, pharynx is there. After pharynx, esophagus continues. Esophagus enters into the stomach. Stomach after enters into the small intestine. Before this uh, small intestine, there are two glands. One is liver, another is pancreas. After completion of small intestine, this small intestine enters into large intestine, at the place of your appendix. This large intestine continues as rectum and anus. Through anus, undigested food excretes outside. Now we observe this digestive system in detail. What are the names of the organs in the human digestive system? In our textbook, Improve Your Learning, there is a question. In that question, this picture is present. This picture is the symbol of digestive system. Uh, Now we compare with uh, real digestive system figure with the model and symbolic digestive system figure. First parts of digestive system is mouth. Then this is the salivary gland, and this is esophagus, and this is stomach, and this one are liver, and this leaf-like structure is pancreas, and this big size structure is large intestine, and this narrow tube-like structure is the small intestine, and ending of large intestine is rectum. Rectum follows the anus. This is the major parts of the human digestive system. Students, you uh, identify each and every part in the digestive system, and you name also remember. Human digestive system, different organs. Now we see these different organs in the form of flowchart. This is the animation structure of human digestive system. Food enter into the first part of human digestive system, that is mouth. After that, buccal cavity. After that, pharynx. After that, esophagus. Then cardiac stomach. Next, pyloric stomach, and that next duodenum. Duodenum, there are two glands open with the ducts. First one is the liver, second one is the pancreas. And duodenum continues to small intestine. The small intestine enters into the large intestine. Large intestine follows rectum, then anus. This is the flowchart of our human digestive system. This flowchart uh, number of times comes in annual examinations. Some names are not given in the flowchart. You will write them by remembering the sequence. So children, it is very important. So you remember all the parts in digestive system in sequential. Then what is digestion? Digestion, the process of breaking down of complex substances into simple substances with the help of enzymes and absorbed into the body, is called digestion. What is peristaltic movement? It is peristaltic movement is involuntary movement. After taking food into the mouth, buccal cavity, inside buccal cavity, we crushing the food with teeth. After mixing with saliva, we mastigation this food into the esophagus. Once entering food into esophagus, we can't control it. The movement is involuntary. Such movement is known as peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement: the soft food mixed with saliva passes through esophagus or food pipe by wave-like movements called peristaltic movement. From esophagus to anus, the food moves esophagus to stomach, stomach to small intestine to large intestine, from large intestine to outside to anus. All movement is peristaltic movement. These are involuntary movements. We not able to control this movement. So children, students, remember this peristaltic movement. What is mastication? Mastication: food is cut and crushed by our teeth in the mouth and mixed with saliva to make it wet and slippery, called as mastication. This slippery and masticated food called as bolus. After crushing the food with teeth and mixing with saliva, we engulf into esophagus. This process is known as mastication. What is chyme? Children, you remember this name, bolus and chyme. Bolus is formed in the buccal cavity. Chyme is formed in stomach. What is chyme? Now we going to learn. Chyme: food in the form of a soft, slimy substance where some proteins and carbohydrates have already been broken down is called chyme. This process occurs in the stomach. What is emulsification? Emulsification is a process. It is done by bile juice. Bile juice is produced in the liver gland. This bile juice not having any enzymes. Even though bile juice not having any enzymes, it helps in the digestion of fats. This bile juice degrades the fats molecule into small molecules. The process is known as emulsification. This process occurred in the small intestine. First part of small intestine is the duodenum. In the duodenum, this emulsification processes occur. Emulsification: fats are digested by converting them into small globule-like forms by the help of the bile juice secreted from liver. The process is called emulsification. Students, you must remember what is bolus, what is chyme, and what is emulsification. These are the important steps in digestive process. What is absorption? After digestion, the complex molecules of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats converted into simpler molecules like glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids. After completion of digestion, these simpler molecules absorbed into blood. The process of absorption of digested food nutrients into blood is called absorption. This absorption takes place in the small intestines through finger-like structures called as villi. Now we know the definition of absorption. Absorption: transport of the products of digestion from the intestine into blood through the wall of intestine is called absorption. Are you clear about absorption? Now we are going to learn what digestive glands and what are digestive juices present in digestive system. This is the animation figure of digestive system. In the buccal cavity, there are three pairs of salivary glands. These salivary glands secretes saliva, and in stomach there is gastric glands. These gastric glands secretes gastric juice, and in the at the duodenum there are two glands. First one is liver. This liver secretes bile juice. Next, another gland is present nearer to the pancreas. This gland structure looks leaf-like structure. This pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Next, there are intestinal glands. Small intestine consists intestinal glands. This intestinal gland secretes intestinal juice. How many glands present in digestive system? See, there are five types of glands are there. In buccal cavity, salivary glands. In stomach, gastric glands. In nearer to the duodenum, there is a big larger gland, that is liver, and another gland near to duodenum is pancreas, and in the walls of small intestine there are intestinal glands. The secretions are salivary gland secretions saliva, gastric gland secretions gastric juice, and liver secretes bile juice, pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, intestinal glands secretes intestinal juice. This digestive juice contains enzymes. Before going to learn enzymes clearly, in saliva there is a enzyme ptyalin or amylase, salivary amylase. How it works on nutrients, now we are going to see. Action of salivary amylase on starch experiment. In experiments, there are steps. By doing these experiments, we must follow these steps. Now we do this salivary amylase action on starch. Students, carefully you see. Aim is to show the action of ptyalin or salivary enzyme on starch. Apparatus are beakers, test tubes, and iodine chemical. First procedure: collect saliva into the beaker that contains starch solution. Then pour 2 drops of iodine in each beaker, both having starch solution. One beaker having saliva, another beaker not having saliva. After mixing these beaker solutions, you observe carefully. After mixing, you stay it few minutes. Once again, pour 2 drops iodine solution to both beakers. What will happen now? You see after some time. Saliva acts on starch due to salivary amylase action. Solution becomes colorless because it acts on carbohydrates and converts to maltose sugar. Maltose sugar not converts the iodine solution to blue color. By doing this experiment, we understand action of salivary amylase on starch. Due to action of salivary amylase, the starch solution converts to colorless, even though adding iodine solution. Now we are going to see what are enzymes participated in the process of digestion in human beings. Digestive glands. How many glands present in digestive system? Five glands. What are they? First one, salivary glands. Salivary glands secrete saliva, and in salivary gland secretion, saliva contains digestive enzymes of ptyalin or salivary amylase. It acts on carbohydrates, nutrients, and converts into maltose sugar by doing digestion process. Second gland is gastric juice. Gastric gland secretes gastric juice. This gastric juice contains pepsin enzyme. This pepsin enzyme acts on proteins and converts to peptones. Third gland is liver, which this liver secretes bile juice. Bile juice not having any enzyme, so enzymes are nil in bile juice. Even though bile juice not having enzymes, it acts on fats and converts into small fat molecules. This process is known as emulsification. And fourth gland is pancreas. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which this pancreatic juice contain amylase, trypsin, lipase enzymes. These amylase, lipase, trypsin enzymes acts on carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Amylase acts on carbohydrates, trypsin acts on proteins, nutrients. Lipase acts on fats and convert them into carbohydrates to glucose, proteins to peptones, fats to fatty acids and glycerols. And last digestive gland is intestinal glands. Intestinal gland secretes intestinal juice. Intestinal juice contain the enzymes lipase, peptidases, sucrase, lipase, peptidases, sucrase, which acts on fats, peptides, sucrose, and converts them to fats to fatty acids and glycerol, peptides to amino acids, sucrose to glucose. This is the major work of digestive system. After converting the complex molecules of carbohydrates, proteins, fats into simpler molecules of glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids is known as digestion. Digestive enzymes table. Children or students, you observe this table carefully. By observing this table, you easily write regarding digestive glands, digestive enzymes, and their actions. Tyline, pepsin, bile, amylase, trypsin, lipase, peptidases, sucrases are the enzymes we already learn about these enzymes. If these enzymes reacts on carbohydrates, proteins, fats, converts them to simpler molecules like glucose, amino acids, fatty acids. This table you having in your nutrition lesson. Then we are going to write health aspects of the alimentary canal. Digestion is a general term used when there is difficulty in digesting food. Healthy people usually avoid problems related to digestion by having simple, well balanced meals, avoiding taking violent exercise, soon after eating food, drinking plenty of water, intake of fiber rich food to avoid constipation. What is vomiting? Vomiting is the body's method of ridding itself of unwanted or harmful substances from the stomach. What is ulcers? Students, you must know about ulcers. Ulcers, an open sore on an external or internal surface of the body caused by a break in the skin or mucous membrane which fails to heal. Ulcers range from small, painful sores in the mouth to bed sores and serious lesions of the stomach or intestine. A more serious form of indigestion is caused by stomach and duodenal ulcers. These conditions occur more often in people who may be described as hurried or worried. Those people who work in high tension field and high mental pressures field, they get ulcers commonly. How many types of nutrients present in food? Nutrients. There are two types of nutrients present in food. One is macronutrients, second one is micronutrients. In macronutrients, there are three major nutrients. One, carbohydrates, second, fats, third, proteins. In micronutrients, there are two types. One, vitamins, second, minerals and salts. Carbohydrates and fats, also called as calorific nutrients. The lack of calorific nutrients in diet causes marasmus in children. The characteristics of marasmus appear like this. These children are very restless and looks very weak. Their rib cage also appeared. Uh, this marasmus causes in females continuous births, lack of milk to the children. This causes marasmus. C. Lack of proteins in dietary children causes kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is a disease, lack of protein nutrients in children. These children appear like this. See, they are very loosey tissues, having very sad and unhappy. And some children having more junk foods and dietary, uh, it causes obesity. The obesity children appear like this. They look very fatty, and these children having very useless fats in their body. Now we are going to uh, what types of micronutrients and what types of vitamins are. How many types of vitamins are present? What are they? Vitamins are two types. One, water soluble, and second one, fat soluble. Water soluble vitamins are B complex and vitamin C. Fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E, K. These B complex vitamins are B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, folic acid, pantothenic acid, and biotin. These vitamin C sources are vitamin C chemical name is ascorbic acid. The major sources of vitamin C are these: citrus fruits and green leafy vegetables, sprouts, and all this. Lack of vitamin C, ascorbic acid causes scurvy disease. The characteristic of scurvy disease like this. Due to vitamin C deficiency, the gums of scurvy disease cause teeth and gums appear like this. The major sources of vitamin A are these. The chemical name of vitamin A is retinol, also called as B carotene. Fish, leafy vegetables, milk, liver, carrot, tomato, eggs, tomato, and mango having more vitamin A. Students, by eating these types of food, you easily get vitamin A sufficiently. The lack of vitamin A causes night blindness. The characteristics of night blindness are like this. They are low vision and night blindness. They are not able to see during the night. By taking sufficient vitamin A, they not get night blindness. The major sources of vitamin D is this. The chemical name of vitamin D is calciferol, also called as sunshine vitamin. Butter having vitamin D, eggs also having vitamin D, and shark liver oil, fish, and uh, seeds and cereals also having vitamin D. Lack of vitamin D, vitamin in dietary causes rickets. The characteristics of rickets are like this. They have bow legs. The major sources of vitamin E, these are major sources of vitamin E. Chemical name of vitamin E is tocopherol. Sprouts are major source of vitamin E. Vegetables, sunflower oil, fruits, all this having more rich in vitamin E. The lack of vitamin E causes fertility disorder. See how these couples are very sad because they not having babies. They are very stressed in society. Ask what will happen. You don't have babies like that, so they feel very stressful. Psychologically, they are always imbalanced. Uh, so, if you have vitamin E rich food daily, you easily get fertility and also get babies. Female infertility. The major source of vitamin K. These are the major source of vitamin K. What is the chemical name of vitamin K? Phyloquinone is the chemical name of vitamin K. Green leafy vegetables, milk, meat, egg are major source of vitamin K. The lack of vitamin K causes bleeding. What is the characteristic of bleeding? Bleeding is continuous flow of blood when you have very small injury. It is very dangerous. Sometimes it causes death also. So you must have vitamin K rich food in daily dietary. The major sources of vitamin B1 are, these are the major sources of vitamin B1. The chemical name of vitamin B1 is thiamine. Vegetables, oil seeds, cereals, fish are the major source of vitamin B1. Milk, meat, eggs also having vitamin B1 thiamine. The lack of vitamin B1 thiamine vitamin causes beriberi diseases. The characteristic of beriberi disease is like this. Uh, they are uh, rashes type on the skin. This look like this, reddish and blackish spots on the skins. The major source of vitamin B2 is this. The chemical name of B2 is riboflavin. Green leafy vegetables having vitamin B2, riboflavin. Eggs also having vitamin B2. Milk, liver, kidney also having vitamin B2. By having these food materials in dietary, you get riboflavin, vitamin B12. Lack of vitamin B2, riboflavin causes glossitis. The characteristics of glossitis is like this reddish tongue. They feel very mm, during eating, very hard and painful during eating due to this glossitis. The major sources of vitamin B3 is this. The chemical name of B3 is niacin. Oil seeds contain vitamin B3 niacin. Kidney, liver, meat, egg, fish also having vitamin B3 niacin vitamin. All this uh, give vitamin B3 to us. Lack of vitamin B3 niacin causes pellagra. The characteristics of pellagra is skin disease. The pellagra cause persons having this type of skin. It is very uncomfortable to seeing. So you must have vitamin B3 niacin containing food daily that not affected pellagra. Vitamin B6 sources of food are these. The chemical name of B6 is pyridoxine. Pyridoxine, vitamin B6 rich foods are these: cooked lean beef, beans, cooked lean pork, salmon, tuna, dried apricots, spinach, prawns, sunflower seeds, banana. Lack of vitamin B6 pyridoxine causes anemia. Anemia is a disease which is low percentage of hemoglobin in blood. This low percentage of hemoglobin in blood called as anemia. See, this person having anemia, this female not having anemia. By seeing this both faces, we easily understand anemic patient, non-anemic patient. Anemic patients looks very dull and unhappy, dizziness, not having glow in on her face. A normal person looks very bright and happy and glow in her face. Vitamin B12 sources. These are the sources of vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is not occur in dietary foods. Major vitamin B12 we get. The chemical name of vitamin B12 is cyanocobalamin. We get this major vitamin B12 from bacteria, synthesized by bacteria present in the intestine. So, students, you don't uh, uh, continuously use antibiotics without consult a doctor. That may cause destroy of bacteria in our intestine. That leads to lack of vitamin B12. So you don't take medicines directly by your own. When you need to take antibiotics, please consult doctor. As for physician direction only, you use antibiotics. The source small sources we get by this fish, and that lack of vitamin B12, you get pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia. Characteristics of pernicious anemia is severe anemia. The major source of folic acids are these food items. Chemical name of vitamin B9 is folic acid, also called as vitamin B9. The major sources cereals, leafy vegetables, liver, meat, eggs, milk, fruits. These are the major source of vitamin uh, folic acid. By having by lack of folic acid, it causes anemia. The major source of pantothenic acid is this. This pantothenic acid, also called as vitamin B5, groundnuts having more vitamin B5 pantothenic acid, sweet potatoes, vegetables, liver, kidney, egg also having this pantothenic acid. Lack of pantothenic acid causes burning feet. Major source of biotin. This vitamin also called as vitamin B7. Biotin rich foods are these pulses, nuts, vegetables, liver, milk, kidney, eggs, fish, and all these having rich in biotin. Lack of biotin causes nerve disorders. Students, all these vitamins, water solubles and fat solubles, B complex vitamin C, A, D, E, K, and their chemical names, and their sources, and their lack of vitamins causes which diseases. You are well understood. I think you are clear about the vitamins and types, and their chemical names, and their rich source food materials, and their lack of vitamins causes diseases. You are very clear about. Now you see the vitamins table. Deficiency diseases, vitamins and deficiency diseases. By this observing this table, vitamins, sources, deficiency diseases, symptoms, we clearly visualize by flowchart and pictures. By observing this table, you can easily write answers regarding this vitamin tables question. Our channel motto is natural learning and joyful learning. Thank you.